But it shall not be among you, that whosoever will be great among you, let him be your servant. 27. And whosoever will be chief among you, let him be your servant or slave. Some of us laugh when I said Kunta Kinte. Kunta was a slave. They even tried to change his name and make him Toby. That scene is always so vivid in my mind when they beat him. Your name is Toby. My name is Kunta. They beat him almost to death. But it's not so much, finally, he said, my name is Toby. But inside, he was still Kunta. Give me a title if you want to. But inside, I still know that I am a slave. And I'm a servant, and it's my job. And what I want to do, I want to please the master. How many of that is your desire, that you want to please your master? It makes no difference. Some of you are trying to get all these accolades, and you're trying to use your authority over people. But unless you please the Lord, none of that stuff really matters. You don't have to go around talking about I'm pastor this or minister this or evangelist this. Just get down to the point, I'm a servant of the Most High God. And some of you always think that up here is the glorified place. And some of you think that one day, hopefully, I'll get up here in the glorified place. I want you to know it's not so glorified up here. Because at this point, that's where people can take shots at you. With your position, people take unnecessary shots at you. But if you know you're up here because you're doing the master's will, how many of you know you don't care what people think? How many of you reached that point in your life that you don't care what people think, especially when you know that it's for the glory and honor of God? Strip me of every title and still see I'll do the work of the ministry. Call me by my first name if you want to. My job is to please the master. And some of you think, I ain't doing nothing he say. He could talk about tithing. I'm not doing it, but I'm still going to hold a position. He can even talk about going to Bible study. I ain't been to Bible study in 4 years, and I still have this position. Matter of fact, I don't believe in study. It's not unto me, it's as unto the Lord. The Bible only tells me, as a minister, as a pastor, do everything that you do so that God will be glorified. And then he tells the individuals in the pew, do what you do so that you won't make his ministry grievous. So that one day I can give an account and say, Lord, I appreciate every one of those members you've blessed me with. Some of them didn't have the education. Some of them didn't have what we think as success. Some of them maybe didn't have economic status, but they held a place in your heart. And because of that, they glorified you in everything that they said and everything that they did. And verse 27, and whosoever will be chief among you, let him be your slave. And some of you in these positions said, he can't tell me nothing. And I'm going to do what I want to do anyway. With that kind of attitude, you really need to check it at the door. Read your Bible. Then you would know that is the wrong attitude. Because if you really want to be great in the kingdom, you got to be a slave. You got to be a servant and be willing to serve. Look at verse 28. Even so, as the Son of Man came not to be ministered unto, but to minister, and to give his life a ransom for many. We're getting ready to install officers today. And until you come in as a servant and you're willing to acknowledge the fact that God has placed authority over you, if you're not willing to submit, please don't get in line, because you're doing yourself a misservice. We're reaching the point now where I want everything that I do to count for the kingdom. Count for the kingdom.